Okay, yesterday we made the study guide for Matsuo Bashō's Oku no Hosomichi, written, or at least begun, in 1689, translated by Barnhill as The Narrow Road to the Deep North. And now I will be reciting the poems, the Hokku poems from that work of Haibun. Okay, so these are all the Hokku that appear in the work. Most are by Matsuo Bashō, but some are by his travel companion Sora. Whenever the poem is by Sora, I will indicate it. Okay, I will be reading the original and Barnhill's translation in English. Okay, starting from the first Hokku. Kusa no tomo, sumikawaru yozo, hina no ie. A grass hut too has a season of moving, a doll's house. Poem 2. Yuku haru ya, tori naki uo no me wa namida. Departing spring, birds cry, in the fish's eyes are tears. Ara toto, aoba wakaba no hi no hikari. So holy, green leaves, young leaves, in sun's light. Okay, the next poem is by Sora. Sori shitete, kuro kami yama ni koromo gae. Head shaven, at Black Hair Mountain, changing clothes. Next poem. Shibaraku wa taki ni komoru ya, ge no hajime. For a while, secluded at a waterfall, start of the summer retreat. Next poem is by Sora. Kasane to wa, yai na deshiko no na narubeshi. Kasane must be a name for a double-petaled pink. Next is Natsuyama ni ashida o ogamu kado de kana. In the summer mountains, praying before the clogs, setting off. Next poem is by Butjo, who you will remember from the study guide. I mentioned to be Matsuo Bashō's Zen master, under whom he studied Zen. Okay, this is a poem by Butjo, and it's not a Hokku, it's actually a waka, a full 5-7-5-7-7 waka. Tate yoko no goshaku ni taranu kusa no ii o musubu mo kuyashi ame nakari seba. A grass thatched hut less than 5 feet. Regrettable indeed to build even this, if only there were no rains. Okay, next Hokku by Bashō. Kitsutsuki mo iyo wa yaburazu natsu kodachi. Even woodpeckers don't damage this hut, summer grove. Next poem. No o yoko ni uma hiki muke yo hototo gisu. Across the plain, turn my horse over there. Cuckoo. Cuckoo is in the cuckoo bird. Next poem. Ta ichimai uete tachisaru yanagi kana. A whole rice paddy planted. I depart from the willow. Next poem is by Sora, the travel companion. Uno hana o kazashi ni seki no haregi kana. Adorned with duchia blooms, formal attire for the barrier. Next is by Bashō again. Furyu no hajime ya oku no taue uta. Okay, so I have a specific question on the study guide about this poem. Furyu no hajime ya oku no taue uta. The beginning of all art, all furyu. In the deep north, a rice planting song. Next poem about the chestnut, the kuri, where he meditates on the etymological origins of the kuri, and the poem is the following. Yo no hito no Mitsukenu hana ya noki no kuri. People of the world don't discern these blossoms. Chestnut by the eaves. Next is Sanae toru. Temoto ya mukashi. Shinobu zuri. Sanae toru. Temoto ya mukashi. Shinobu zuri. Planting seedlings. With the hands, ancient patterns from the fern of longing. Next is Oimo tachimo. Satsuki ni kazare kami nobori. Satchel and sword too, displayed for fifth month. Carp streamers. Next, Kasashima ba. Izuko Satsuki no nukari michi. Rain Hat Island. Where is it this rainy month along muddy roads? Next, Takekuma no Matsumise Moshimase. Osozakura. Matsumise Moshimase. So we have a very serious jiamari in that one. Instead of the usual 7 syllables, it's 9. Takekuma no Matsumise Moshimase. Osozakura. The Takekuma pine. Show it to him, late blooming cherries. Next, Sakura yori matsu wa futaki o mitsuki goshi. Since the cherries bloomed, I've longed to see this pine. 2 trunks after 3 months' passage. Okay, next. Ayamegusa, ashi ni musuban waraji no o. I'll bind blue flags around my feet, sandal cords. Okay, then there's a long prose passage with no hokku, and then we have he enters Matsushima and writes this poem. Actually, Sora, yeah, I was right. In the study guide video, I said that Matsuo Bashō has several very famous hokku about Matsushima. But this one here that appears in this prose piece, in this haibun, is actually by Sora, his travel companion. And here's the poem. Matsushima ya, tsuru nimi o kare hototogisu. Matsushima, borrow the wings of the crane, cuckoo. Matsushima ya, tsuru nimi o kare hototogisu. Okay, by Sora. Next is this very, very famous poem about the warrior's dreams, where he's reminiscing or reflecting on the story of Yoshitsune and the Genpei Wars during the Heian period. He writes the following. Natsugusa ya, tsuwa mono domo ga yume no ato. Summer grass, all that remains of warriors' dreams. And Sora, his travel companion, adds this hokku to Bashō's hokku, and it is Uno hana ni kanefusa miyuru shiraga kana. In Dutya blossoms, kanefusa can be seen, white hair. Okay, next is also a very famous poem at the Hikari-do, and actually Nakanishi Susumu sensei talks about this poem. In the book I translated, I'll put the link to that book in the description to this video. But the poem is Samidare no Furi nokoshite ya Hikari-do. All the summer rains, have they left it untouched? Hall of light. Next, Nomi shidami Uma no shito suru makura moto. Fleas, lice, a horse peeing by my willow. Okay, so now they're in Dewa. He's sleeping by the willow, and a horse is peeing next to him. So we have some humor, or some sort of body kind of humor injected into that hokku. The next is, where are they now? Suzushisai o waga yado ni shite nemaru nari. Making coolness my lodging, lying at ease. Okay, so this is actually a string of hokku, 4 in a row he gives here. The next is Haide yo, kaiya ga shita no hiki no koe, Crawl out here. Under the silkworm nursery, the croak of a toad. And the third in this sequence, Mayu haki yo omokage ni shite beni no hana. Eyebrow brushes come to mind. Safflower blossoms. And the fourth is by Sora. Kogai suru hito wa kodai no sugata kana. Those who tend the silkworms, the appearance of the ancient past. Okay, so in the study guide I mentioned that one of their motivations for going on this journey is to find the ancient past in the present, in the contemporary present. And here, in this poem, Sora finds the kodai, right? The kodai no sugata. He finds it in this person who is tending the silkworms in Dewa, up in Yamagata region. Okay. Continuing is probably the most famous Hokku poem by Matsuo Bashō. Shizukasa ya, iwa ni shimiiru semi no koe. Stillness, penetrating the rocks, cicadas cry. Shizukasa ya. So ya is the kiriji, the cutting word, right? Shizukasa ya, iwa ni shimiiru semi no koe. And the next one is composed while Matsuo Bashō is up walking along the Mogami River in Yamagata Prefecture. Samidare o atsumete hayashi, Mogami gawa. Samidare o atsumete hayashi, Mogami gawa. Gathering all the summer rains, swift Mogami River. Next, arigata ya, yuki o kaorasu minamida ni. So grateful, perfumed with snow, South Valley. And then we have a string of 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, the last being by Sora. Suzusaya, hono mikazuki no haguro yama. Coolness, the crescent moon faint over Black Feather Mountain. And the next, so he's at the three great mountains of up in the northern, in Michinoka. The first one there was about Haguro Yama. The next here, Kumo no mine, ikutsu kuzurete, tsuki no yama. Cloud peaks, how many have crumbled away, Moon Mountain. And the next about Yudono, the third of the three great mountains up in Michinoka. Katadade nu Yudono ni nurasu tamoto kana. At Yudono, forbidden to speak, my sleeves wet with tears. Okay, and he mentions in the prose passage that those who climb the Yudono mountain are forbidden to speak about the experience afterward. It's a sort of old legend, rural legend that he incorporates into that Hokku. And the fourth is by Sora, once again. He writes the final one in the sequence, and it's again about Yudono Yama. Yudono Yama, zeni fumu michi no namida kana. Mount Yudono, on the path of treading coins, with tears following. Okay, moving on. Atsumi Yama ya, Atsumi Yama ya. So we have Jiyamari there. Atsumi Yama ya, 6 instead of 5 syllables. Fuku ura kakete, yu suzumi. Okay, Mount Atsumi, all the way to Fukube, the evening cool. And the next one, Atsuki hiyo, umi ni iretari, Mogami gawa. So again, at the Mogami River, up in Yamagata Prefecture, thrusting the hot sun into the sea. Kind of a surrealistic image there. Thrusting the hot sun, Atsuki hiyo, umi ni iretari. The past tense there. Having thrust the hot sun into the sea, Mogami River. Okay, it's kind of suggested that Mogami River is the subject of that predicate. Next, Kisagata ya, ame ni seishi ga, nebu no hana. Okay, so seishi or shi shi in Chinese is a legendary Chinese beauty from Chinese history, And the English translation, Kisagata. In the rain, Shishu, asleep, silk tree blossoms. Okay. Not sure what the tones are for that Chinese name, but you can look it up. So once again, he's seen the scene before him, namely Kisagata in this instance, through the mediation of the Chinese past, right? In this case, he compares it to Shi, the legendary beauty. Next poem, Shiogoshiya, Tsuru hagi nurete, umi suzushi. The shallows, a crane with legs wet, the sea cool. Okay, this is another string of 4 poems in a row. The third is Kisagata ya, ryori naniku, kami matsuri. This one is by Sora, his companion. Kisagata, what food to eat on festival day. Okay, the next one is by somebody that they run into along their journeys, a guy named Teiji, a merchant from Mino, who writes and contributes this Hokku. Ama no ya, toita o shikite, yu suzumi. Okay, a fisher's hut, laying out rain shutters for the evening cool. And the final one in this sequence is by Sora, and it's Nami koenu, chigiri arite ya, misago no usu. Let me do that one again. Nami koenu, chigiri arite ya, misago no su. How they vowed, waves will never wash over it, an osprey's nest. Okay, moving on. Now they're going up to Sakata, which is on the coast, up in the Hokuriku area, and Bashō writes Fumizuki ya. Okay, you remember Fumizuki is the name of the 7th month in the old lunar calendar. Fumizuki ya, muika mo tsune no yo ni wa nizu. Okay, 7th month. Even the 6th night is different. And again, this is probably the second most famous Hokku by Matsuo Bashō. I think it's mentioned in the last chapter of Kawabata Yasunari's Yukiguni, or Snow Country. And the poem is Ara umi ya, sado ni yokotau, ama no gawa. Stormy sea, stretching out over Sado, Heaven's River. Okay, Ama no gawa is Heaven's River. It's also the word for the Milky Way. Okay, so we have the stormy sea stretching out over the Sado Island, and then above it is Ama no gawa, the river, literally the river of heaven. Moving on. Now they encounter the prostitutes. The 2 young prostitutes are on their way to Ise, and Bashō writes, Hitotsuya ni yujo mo netari, hagi to tsuki. Okay, so yujo is the word for a courtesan or a prostitute. In the same house, prostitutes too slept. Bush clover and moon. Okay, and there's a footnote about the common interpretations of that poem, and Barnhill sort of takes issue with that standard interpretation and suggests something else. So make sure you read the footnotes for all of these works. Okay, Hitotsuya ni yujo mo netari, hagi to tsuki. And moving on, they're now heading to the province of Kaga, which is today Ishikawa Ken, Ishikawa Prefecture. And Bashō writes, Wase no kaya, wakeiru migi wa ariso umi. Okay, wase is early rice. Wase no kaya. So ka is kaori, right? Scent. So the scent of early rice, cutting through the fields, wakeiru, migiwa. On the right, the rough shore sea, the ariso umi. Moving on, where are they now? Okay, they're going into Kanazawa, which is the main town in Kaga province. He writes, they learn of a guy named Issho who died the previous winter. Okay, and Matsuo Bashō writes, in his memorial service, he writes, Tsuka mo ugoke, waga naku koe wa aki no kaze. Okay, tsuka is like a mound or a grave. Tsuka mo ugoke. Waga naku koe wa aki no kaze. Grave too, move. My wailing voice, autumn wind. Okay, it's in the Meirei there. Tsuka mo ugoke. Grave too, you move. He's sort of talking to the grave almost, commanding it to move. Waga naku koe wa aki no kaze. Next, this is a sequence, several in a row here. Aki suzushi tegoto ni muke ya uri nasubi. I am invited to a certain grass hut. Okay, that's the sort of preface to the poem, to the hokku, and the poem is Aki suzushi. Autumn is cool. Let each hand set to peeling melons and eggplants. Followed by another one in a row. Aka akato. Hi wa tsurude naku mo aki no kaze. This is prefaced a song on the road, and the poem is so red, red, the sun relentless and yet autumn's wind. Okay, and the last one in the sequence is prefaced at a place called Little Pine. Okay, komatsu, Little Pine. A lovely name, Little Pine, where the wind wafts over bush clover and miscanthus, is the translation, and the original is Shio rashiki, naya komatsu fuku, hagi susuki. Okay, moving on. Now, where are they? They're Tada Shrine, and he's reminiscing or reflecting on the Genpei stories from the Heian period. And he writes the following. Muzan ya na. Kabuto no shita no kirigirisu. Muzan ya na. Okay, so muzan means pitiful or pathetic, full of pathos, merciless, it can also mean. So pitiful. Under the helmet, a cricket. Muzan ya na. Kabuto no shita no kirigirisu. Okay, moving on. Now they are at Yamanaka Hot Springs, Yamanaka Onsen, and he writes the following about the Ishiyama, Stone Mountain. And Nakanishi Sensei also discusses this in in the book that I translated, linked in the description. And the poem is Ishiyama no Ishi yori shiroshi, aki no kaze. Whiter than the stones of Stone Mountain, autumn's wind. Followed by another one at Yamanaka Onsen, he writes Yamanaka ya kiku wa taordanu yuno niyo. Yamanaka, no need to pluck chrysanthemums, the fragrance of these springs. Okay, and moving on. Now, this is where they part. Sora leaves Matsuo Bashō and or the narrator poet, and heads to Ise province, to the town of Nagashima, to visit some relatives. So they part for a bit, and at their parting, Sora writes Yuki yuki te taorde fusu tomo hagi no hara. Okay, yuki yuki te taorde fusu tomo hagi no hara. Journeying on and on, I may fall in yet a field of bush clover. And that was Sora's departing poem. And Bashō responds with this. Kyō yori ya kakitsuke kesan kasa no tsuyu. From this day forth, the inscription washed away by dew on my hat. Okay, so kasa is the word for... never mind. Yes, okay. Yes, it's a kind of traditional hat. It doesn't just mean umbrella, it can also mean a hat. Kasa no tsuyu. And there's a footnote about that poem, you can read it. Moving on. So Bashō remains in Kaga province and visits a temple called Zenshoji and writes the following. Previous night. Okay, no. The previous night, staying at that temple, Sora wrote the following. Yomosugara. Yomosugara means all night long, all throughout the night. Yomosugara akikaze kikuya ura no yama. All night long, listening to autumn's wind, the mountain behind, is how Barnhill translates it. And the previous night, Sora stayed there, and now this night, Matsuo Bashō stays in the same temple and writes kind of a response to Sora's original hokku. And he says, Niwa haite, Idebaya tera ni chiru yanagi. I would sweep the garden before departing. In the temple, falling willow leaves. Okay, so in a footnote it mentions that when you stay at a temple for the night and you receive the kindness of the hosts of the temple, the monks and so forth, the tradition is to show your appreciation by sweeping the garden. Niwa haite. Okay, moving on. Now he's at the border of Echizen province, Echizen no Kuni, and he visited the Tide Cross Pines, and he cites actually the following waka, 57577 waka, by the late Heian era priest Saigyo. Okay, and Saigyo's waka is the following, and it also uses the word yomosugara, meaning all night long. So Saigyo wrote in the late Heian period, Yomosugara, arashi ni nami yo hakobasete, tsuki o tardetaru shiogoshi no matsu. Okay, shiogoshi is the word for the tide cross pines. Okay, Yomosugara, arashi ni nami yo hakobasete, tsuki o tardetaru shiogoshi no matsu. All night long, waves were heaved across by the storm. Moonlight dripping down among the tide cross pines. Okay, moving on. Now they're entering Kanagawa, and Bashō scribbles down, writes the following: Mono kaite, ogi hikisaku nagori kana. Scribbled on, now the fan is torn up. Reluctant parting. Okay, so, and Matsuo continues on by himself now to worship at a Heiji, the temple of the Zen master Dogen, far up in the provinces. And there's a long prose passage followed by this poem about the pilgrim sand-carrying legend that he hears from somebody up there. And he writes, Tsuki kiyoshi yugyo no moteru suna no ue. Okay, the moon so pure on the sand carried here by the pilgrim priests. And the next day is the 15th of the month, and it's the 15th, of course, is the middle of each month in the old lunar calendar, and that day is always or usually the Meigetsu, or the harvest moon. And he writes a poem to the harvest moon about the harvest moon. Meigetsu ya, hokkoku biyori, sadame naki. Harvest moon, the north country weather so uncertain. Okay, moving on to Color Beach, a man named Tenya. Okay, temple. They drank tea. He drinks tea with this guy, and he writes this poem: Sabisaya, suma ni kachitaru hama no aki. Okay, whenever you hear Suma, the beaches of Suma, think of Genji, right? Because Genji was famously exiled to Suma, and he spent many lonely nights there and wrote poems about how lonely he was, and it became famous and became associated with Genji's exile. Loneliness, superior even than Suma. Autumn on this beach. Okay, Sabisaya, Suma ni kachitaru hama no aki. Okay, kachitaru is rentaike for kata in regular modern contemporary Japanese. You say kata, kachimashita. It's in classical kachitaru hama no aki. Okay, rentaike links it to the noun that follows. And another one in that sequence, Nami no maya, kogai ni majiru hagi no chiri. Between the waves, mingling with tiny shells, bits of bush clover blossoms. Okay, moving on. Now we have the final Hokku that ends the work. Okay, so Bashō returns and reunites with Sora, and he's greeted by many others who come out to welcome him back. But he doesn't stay. He immediately heads out for Ise Jingu to see the reconstruction ceremony. And he ends his piece with the following Hokku that links it back to the second Hokku, which we see the Yuku Haru in that one. Here we see Yuku Aki. Okay, so the poem here is Hamaguri no futami ni wakare yuku aki zo. Okay, like a clam from its shell, setting off for Futamibe, departing fall. Okay, so in Hokku number 2 in this work, we saw the departing spring, and now we're at fall and late fall. So we began the work in late spring, we end in late fall with the image of the Yuku Akizo. Aki is departing. Alright, that was a lot of Hokku. Hopefully, it will make a lot more sense if you follow along with your text as you listen to my recitation. Alright, and there are several questions on the study guide that specifically ask you to analyze the poems. So use this video as a resource when you answer those questions. That is all for now. Goodbye.